I'm Lauren Grace.
And I'm Brian Houston.
And we are the founders of Healus. And today we're here to talk all things suppositories. So we recently launched our suppository line, starting with glutathione. And we know that a lot of you are new to the world of nutraceutical suppositories. We, however, have been using them for a very long time. So we wanted to give you some background on the benefits of suppositories, why we've been using them, and give you some pro tips on how to use them. Now, Brian, I wanted you here because you're not only the formulator behind the suppositories, but you have like 30 plus years experience using them clinically. What was the reason you started using suppositories in your practice to begin with?
Well, the biggest problem was that I read a statement by the Surgeon General, and he stated that 95% of people suffer from malabsorption syndrome. And that's a pretty big number. That means whatever you're eating or whatever your pills you're taking, you're not getting what you think you're getting. So the biggest one, can I talk about the amino acid suppositories?
Yes, they are coming.
Okay. So the amino acid suppositories, to give you a for instance, that's what the body breaks down food particles into amino acids to take them into the blood to fuel the muscles, to burn the calories, to burn the fat. Now, if you're not going through that method, you're not losing fat, you're always hungry. Like after you have a meal in a restaurant, why do you think they have mints at the end of the hostess counter? Because you just need something sweet. And needing something sweet, it means the brain didn't get the message, it didn't get the nutrients for the brain to survive. And the brain survives, that organ survives on sugar. So, or having amino acids. So I said, let me try the amino acids and see if that quells people's hunger. And that would mean that it's fulfilling the function of giving you exactly what the body needs. And that's what happened. And when I used the amino acids, literally in 1 to 2, 3 minutes, nobody's hungry anymore for food. You got satiety by the brain. The brain got the message. So I said, holy cow, this is amazing. And because I didn't want to tell people just diet and stop eating crap, and I wanted to use that as a barometer for people not being so upset that they couldn't get satisfied from what they were eating. And this is the only thing that really did it.
And this had to have been like a game changer for some of the athletes you worked with.
Well, certainly athletes and composition, body composition athletes and performance, and people that just, everyday people that wanted to look better, Miss Universe to Mr. America and everybody in between utilized them. If somebody wanted a defined result in the shortest period of time with the least amount of effort, they would use the suppositories every time.
And so from there, you started using glutathione, and because once you see how they absorb and how things get into your bloodstream, it really it bypasses an injection or IV. So it kind of opens up a whole world for you.
Well, who likes injections? Who likes IVs? Who likes just getting any type of a needle coming at them? And a big, when you're doing nutraceutical injections, they're big needles and they're expensive.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into the expense, but you can check it out yourself. So for $5 to less than $10, you can take a suppository instead of injection that might cost you $50 to $100. And why not be able to take the product daily that you want to introduce to yourself daily, like glutathione, and then have to take an injection like once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Yeah. Why not get it daily?
Because it really is absorbed very quickly into your bloodstream. I mean, within 15 to 20 minutes, those ingredients have been absorbed. And I don't think I fully grasped it until you introduced me to suppositories. I was a little familiar with them, but I don't know if you remember this, but you gave me a caffeine suppository to try for the first time so that I understood how it worked. Now, I don't do a lot of caffeine. I'm a little sensitive to it. And within 10 minutes of taking that suppository, my heart was racing. I was running around the house, cleaning out cabinets. It really helped me understand how rapid these ingredients are absorbed. It really is just like getting an injection or IV.
we know from a practitioner point of view, you don't want to give people things that don't work and don't cause, you have a cause and effect. And I don't like not being successful. And the suppositories really made the difference in my practice and your practice and the people's performance. And I remember working with some Ironman athletes, and they said, I can't believe it, but I lowered my time to like 10 minutes. And I don't know if I was just got that much better, or your suppositories were working that well. I said, it's real simple, just stop taking them. And that's what they did. They stopped taking them, and they didn't get the result. So it's time and time again, it's gotten proven. You'll find out yourself. And we've had people on them for 30 years. Literally, we have clients on them for 30 years.
Which is why, because we were getting them made at a pharmacy. We were having our formulas made at a pharmacy, and the pharmacy unfortunately shut down during COVID. They were kind of a casualty of the pandemic. And our existing clients from our practice was like, they were like, okay. So we had to buy a machine and get it into a lab, and it was a bit of a process. But when you have people that have been using them, like Brian said, for 30 years, they really rely on them. So we're so excited that we can actually bring something that we've used for so long, that we've like clinically proven out time and time and time again, to the general public, to Healus. So we're really excited to introduce this. And I wanted to give you guys just some pro tips. If you're the first time you're using a suppository, it's very easy, but there is a little bit of a learning curve. And so the first thing to understand with a suppository is that it can make you want to go to the bathroom. Doesn't always.
It's called digital stimulation. Yes. It just happens.
It just happens. They make suppositories for that purpose, like with nothing in them if you're constipated, to try and get you stimulated to get your colon moving. Because remember, these ingredients are absorbed fast, within like 15 to 20 minutes. So you only have to retain the suppository for that amount of time. The active ingredients, they're gonna get absorbed within that time period. The base, which is made of just a plant, it's just a plant-based fatty acid, totally natural for your system, that will absorb a little slower. You may pass some of that in a bowel movement later on. That's totally normal. But the active ingredients, as long as you can hold on to that suppository for 15 to 20 minutes, you're golden. So, a few ways on how to do that if you take it and you feel the urgency to have to go to the bathroom. So I know, well, what do you do? Because I know what I do.
I lie down. I just relax and lie down, not sit. I go into a position of lying down, so there's no pressure pushing anything out. It's just relaxing in there, and that usually works. That's really took care of a lot of problems I had with the glutathione, which I don't have anymore.
Yeah, because glutathione in particular, because it's such a detoxifier, you can have a little more of an urgency, we have found, with the glutathione. But that's a great tip, lying down so that you're not walking around, you're not sort of stimulating your system. What I personally do is I just wait until I've had like a normal bowel movement for the day. So my like normal morning routine, I find that if I use a suppository before I've had a bowel movement, it is going to get my colon going, it is going to stimulate it. Now look, if you are prone to constipation, that's a great thing. I'm not. So for me, I have to wait until after I've already had a bowel movement. Then when I put in the suppository, I don't even feel it. I don't have any urgency at that point.
Well, some of our hybrid suppositories that really do the job, you want to keep in as long as you can. You're able to do that in the evening to keep them all night, and I don't have a problem, and the clients don't have a problem.
So doing it before bed. Yeah, I've done that as well. I find that I can easily do it before bed. That doesn't bother me, as long as I didn't have a big heavy meal. So again, we kind of want to give you the insider scoop here. So we've had a lot of experience with using suppositories personally. If I have a big meal at night, I went out to dinner or something, have a big meal, and then I try and use a suppository, it's going to make me feel uncomfortable, because that's going to start to stimulate my colon, and it's going to try and speed up digestion, if that makes sense. And so that's another thing to try and avoid, is I wouldn't use a suppository immediately after a big heavy meal, because that could just kind of stimulate your colon a little too fast. So when you first start using suppositories, experiment. start taking them at different times a day. Find what works for your body. Those are just some things that have worked for us, that have worked for our clients. This is the same information we would give all of our clients, so we want you to be successful in using them. And I would say the only other thing you should be aware of is certain suppositories like glutathione have a particular odor. So glutathione has a bit of a sulfur smell. It's not the most pleasant smell when it's
like you've eaten eggs.
It is like you've eaten eggs.
So what?
So, you know, if you happen to pass gas while that suppository
Then
is inside of you, just clear the room, clear the room.
Clear the area.
Clear the room. So certain suppositories, because of the ingredients, glutathione just has a strong sulfur smell. Really, I would say that's the only downside about suppositories. So that's just something to have a heads up on. But otherwise, they really are so simple to use. They're such a great way to get these ingredients into your body. You don't have to do injections or IVs.
Right there. That's enough right there.
I know.
Itself, right there.
Yeah, they really are game changers.
I mean, I don't think we have anyone that started with them that isn't still taking them.
Oh, yeah, from our
years
clients?
Later.
No.
10, 20, 30 years later, they're all on them. That
is very true. They're all on them. So we love suppositories, and we hope you do too. And if you have any questions, you can always email us. We are here. We are happy to answer anything and help you on your suppository journey. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support through all these years. We are thrilled and excited to bring you our suppository line.
Yes.